Well, welcome to Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. Cstv News at 24 is brought to you by Celeste Tom Brown, Cell Block Machinery and Block Manufacturing, Sarah's Dream Jewelries, Nap Apartment Hotel, and Crystal Jorek Pet Shop. Now, in the headlines, Ghana to end foreign cocoa financing by 2030, says President John Dramani Mahama. Also coming your way, Fifi Kwete pushes big captains politics as NDC opens membership. Moving on to the international front also, US deploys 100 soldiers to Nigeria. There's a many more stories coming your way in tonight's bulletin on CSTV. I'm Dr. Spencer. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still live on CSTV News at 24 on CSTV Now. The news indeed. It was President John Dramani Mahama has stated that Ghana will end reliance on foreign financing for cocoa purchases and instead raise local banks to buy the beans. He maintains that the country has the capacity to process up to 4,000 tons locally to boost value addition under the Accra Reset Agenda. A statement issued by the Ghana's presidency said the president made the announcement at the closing of his high-level event, Accra Reset Agenda reckoning held on the sidelines of the 39th African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The president also stated that Ghana will end foreign cocoa financing by 2030.
We're going to stop foreign funding for the purchase of our cocoa. We're going to raise domestic bonds. We have enough CDs in Ghana to pay for our cocoa. We're going to raise domestic bonds, buy our own cocoa. We don't need to collateralize the beans. I know the interesting part. We have the capacity to process 400,000 tons of those beans, processing capacity in Ghana. But because the beans are collateralized, we cannot even allocate those beans to the local processors. We have to ship all the beans outside. Now, if we buy the beans ourselves, we can take 400,000 tons out of the beans and give to our local processors to add value. That is what the Accra Reset is about. I say by 2030, there are not going to be any raw mineral ores leaving Ghana. You're not going to ship manganese ores out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship bauxite ore out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship iron ore out of Ghana raw. You must process all that locally.
President also stated that in doing this will only create opportunities for the youth in the country.
Our young people are not as patient as our generation. They want to see that progress and prosperity today. And that is why Accra Reset has that urgency that we need to implement in order that we stop our young people from braving the dangers of the Sahara and the Mediterranean to try to get to Europe to look for opportunity. Africa's prosperity is not a threat to anybody in this world. Africa's prosperity will consolidate world prosperity, and it will be a positive for this world, not a threat. And so we want to thank Barros Chapman for those kind words. Al-Hajj spoke on behalf of our stakeholders, and we're happy that they are sacrificing their time and effort to join this great movement to create prosperity for Africa. That's what the Accra Reset really means.
And moving on to other stories, General Secretary under the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, Fifi Kwete, says the party's decision to open registration for new members who want to join the party ahead of branch-level executive elections is deliberate. According to him, it is a strategy for expanding the party.
Because if you're going to have executives elected at the branch level. You need to ensure that we first of all, not forget a number of people who want to join you. Some people have come to let's say the voting age, and they want to be much more active in the party. Possibly there are people who in the past used to be inactive, but now want to be much more active. So they want to pick up registration and then join actively to be members of the party. You also must appreciate that having won an election, you've also become much more attractive to some people. Exactly, you want to give room to as many people as possible who want to be on the train to come up. So that's all part of the process of ensuring that we have a bigger tent.
Asked whether if the party has any figure on how many party members are going to register, Fifi Kwete stated it will be difficult to estimate such figures.
I would say projection in terms of numbers might be difficult to have, but we do anticipate that a lot more people in the various branches, with a lot of people who want to join in the various branches, and that truly has been the journey we've been on to have a situation where people will find our party more and more attractive, not just because we won, but also because of the way we are conducting ourselves, even in government. The way the party is ensuring that we try hard to keep faith with promises we've made. We try to keep the discipline within the party itself. And I think that is all part of the reason why a lot more people might want to join us here.
And now moving on to the minority caucus, former majority leader in parliament, Osecheime Sabunsu, has lauded the minority in parliament for their efforts in doing their best under difficult circumstances. Speaking in an exclusive interview, the former majority leader compared the current New Patriotic Party's minority to his party's position in 1997 parliament.
It's like the era of 1997 when we first came to Parliament, and the size of the MPP at the time was less than 1/3 of the House. When we first came, the 200-member chamber, MPP, our size was 61. We transacted business with some other minority parties, the CPP, PNC, and I think there was one independent candidate who joined us, and that took our number to 67, right? Just one more than the absolute 2/3 for the majority at the time. Today they have the 2/3, and the MPP alone is just as we were in the 1997 Parliament. It's a difficult enterprise.
And now our way to the Central Region, the Chief Executive Officer of Rock African Limited, Francis Gavo, has emphasized that corporate social responsibility initiatives play a vital role in complementing government ethics to improve livelihood and promote development. He made this statement at the commissioning of a new 6-unit classroom block for the Gomwa Benswadie Primary School in the region.
We feel that to have such an infrastructure for a community of 4 blocks basically transcend beyond just the one community. And then the single infrastructure that has been put in place will be able to harness the multitude of talent that we find within all the 4 towns that constitute from that perspective. And for us, it's our share of community support and our contributing quota to the total development of our dear nation Ghana.
He also urged school authorities, students and community members to adopt a strong maintenance culture.
We've gone one step further by supporting them with an annual funds that will be geared towards the maintenance of that. So we think by taking that step, they should be able to follow through and ensure that, the infrastructure is maintained and used to the benefit of
The National Road Safety Authority has called on oil marketing companies and bulk transport operations to strengthen safety protocols following a fatal explosion near Insawan. The authority called for stricter vehicle inspection and maintenance regimes, improved coupling and loading procedures, enhanced driver training, effective fatigue management systems, higher competency standards, and stricter compliance with hazardous goods transportation regulations. On this note, we're going for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Company Limited. So we pay blocks machines here air papa. None of bonso assign edda from dia. Any na enwani Amsel Company Limited. Your conveyor blocks machines, hydraulic blocks machines, pallets, any blocks machines in one session in na. And nothing so blocks machines are who draw opening in air being so ewo. To show your child quite any ya. There was Spinters Road 18 Junction. Yani KFC Dino and a dish anymore. Frey, it was 05,240 and I say 0540-725850. Amstel blocks machines in Papa Efie.
Welcome back from the commercial break. You're still live on Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. You can follow us on our social media handles at CSTVGH for more news updates. Now let's move on to business story. Minority leader and member of parliament for Efutu Alexander Afenyoma Kings has called on government to immediately settle outstanding payments owed to cocoa farmers, insisting that producers are more concerned about receiving their earnings than policy pronouncements.
Now one bag, 3,625 Ghana cedis, and NDC are buying at the so-called 2,587. And the NDC, the Army President MPP Nibia catcher NDC are buying. And here, Brofwa Kasiana, Omokan one crying. Na social media, na CSOs, Omokaka Brofwa Kasia. Cocoa farmers omu promusika. From cocoa farmer bia ekweni bia lucy 10 million per bag. And only asemo ayeka. Into wiki minority for parliament ebeye butu cocoa farmers omusika no ombe.
Our to the international front also, the United States has sent 100 military personnel to northern Nigeria to train and advise local forces as deadly threats raised from armed groups such as Boko Haram and ISIL-linked factions. Smaila Uba, Nigeria's defense headquarters spokesman, confirmed the U.S. troops' arrival in the northeastern area. He said they will provide technical support and intelligence sharing to help target and defeat terrorist organizations. Sports updates will be coming your way right after the short commercial break. Please stay with us. welcome back to our sports update for tonight. Head coach of Accra House of Oak, Didi Dramani, has earned his place in the senior national team, as Benjamin Asari being the first choice goalkeeper for the Black Stars. According to him, he disagrees with people who claim that his rotational policy as Accra House of Oak will affect Asari's chances in the Black Stars ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
To watch, I have nothing to describe about his performance. I just have to think that it is important that we continuously manage him, and then we need to understand what we're doing in our club. It is not about doing something for someone to appreciate. It is for us to continue to do something, things that will help us, things that will keep our players in the better shape. He has nothing to prove to someone that he's the Black Stars #1 or Ghana #1. We just have to know how to manage him in terms of his workload. So sometimes we try to deload, and we have capable hands also. So for me, that is the standard we expect him. The most important thing is to keep consistency, to keep winning matches. If you want to become a champion, you have to win games. It is not about how you play. Many times we are judged by the outcomes, but we are not responsible for the outcomes. Many times we are responsible for the structures. We are responsible for the performances that our players will put up on the field of play. And that is how it's supposed to be. But football has no time for that. Football has time for results and outcomes. But we understand this. But I hope that we'll continue to improve.
Arsenal will travel to League One side Mansfield Town in the 5th round of the FA Cup, having been handed on an away trip, while Newcastle will host Man City. Here is a list of the draw in full. Fulham versus Southampton, Port Vale versus Sunderland, Newcastle versus Man City, Leeds United versus Norwich City, Mansfield Town versus Arsenal, Wolves versus Liverpool, Wrexham versus Chelsea, and West Ham versus Brentford. Tony Ferry said the death of two of long-time rival Anthony Joshua's friends in a car crash in December 2025 prompted his return to boxing. Ferry will step back into the ring on April 11, 2026 after a 15-month absence to face Russian-born heavyweight in a bout at the Tottenham Stadium.
Very, very, very interesting question, and there's only one answer to that. And the truth of the matter, I came back for one reason only, and that's to make boxing great again. Since I retired for the 5th time over a year ago, boxing for me has gone on a downward slope. It's become quite boring, and boxing is at its maximum potential when Tyson Fury is actively fighting. And I didn't say that. An AI, the cleverest AI on earth, said that, ChatGPT. So believe it. And I'm coming back to make boxing great again. Like Donald Trump wants to make America great again, I want to make boxing great again. Obviously, boxing is the biggest addictive drug on earth, because any other drug you can go to rehab and get it out of your system. But the fight game, it never leaves you. It's always with you. Now, the biggest turning point in this comeback for me was a tragedy that happened with Anthony Joshua. I was on holiday with my family in Thailand for Christmas, just to get away from the rain. Sick of the rain, it was depressing me. And then I hear all that bad news that's gone on. And I thought, you know what, life is very, very short and very precious and very fragile. And anything could happen at any given moment. And you should never put things off until tomorrow or next year or next week, because tomorrow is not promised to nobody. The Bible says tomorrow is not a gift. Tomorrow ain't promised. Tomorrow is a mystery. So we have to live for today. And me living for that day, I made my mind up there and then that I'm going to come back to boxing, because it's something that I love and I'm passionate about and that I've always been in love with. And there is no tomorrow to put it off to. So that's why I'm back today for this big fight.
And now moving on to the entertainment front also, Nigerian gospel minister and Pastor Nathaniel Bassey has recounted how an alleged traditional spiritualist, whom he referred to as a juju man, attempted to place him under a spell but failed.
I don't know how he knew, But this was the second time this same guy was coming. One time on the express road, he came and knocked. So he was casting enchantment, a spell, hoping that it would influence me. He was commanding me to do something. I just stood there and laughed. I said, didn't they tell you that as they went from one place to another, from one kingdom to another kingdom, he suffered no man to do them wrong? Yea, he reproved kings for their sake, saying, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. So as I stood there, I just ordered him and said, get out of here. And then I thought again. I said, come back. I said, don't go. I just regretted I would have kept him there for the police. So while he was there, he was waiting for the stuff to work on me. But Numbers 23:23 says there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there what divination against Israel. I came out, that's me coming out of my car. Ordered him, I say, walk out of here. Who are you? Get out of here, you dirty devil. Get out of here, quick, quick, quick. So I'm not playing this to boast. I'm telling you that while we don't glorify the devil, there's wickedness in the world. And tonight, any wickedness, any witchcraft, any spell, anything that is happening.
Ghanaian musician King Jerry has opened about his strained relationship with veteran rapper Tiny, accusing him of masterminding events that led to the breakdown of his management and record label deals. Speaking in an interview, he stated that although he once admired Tiny, their relationship has deteriorated.
Because I say, me coming up as a musician, na me so and looking up to no say your papa back as a godfather, legend near the adding. But I guess say what share bimbi on share she so you na ya bunu. But on the time you are setting me up or setting me up, my friend say make me a kind of plain say time until I net me manager and tematity. Oh yeah, make me kind of plain. Oh say Tiny only thing maybe King Jerry before say me name management be and a contract no me name say na me name be me manager on name free so odini ofre no minimum komo na omodi ba wo say na person kan be ka management team no na bibia ono so e bia links bia na bibia no so on ma yeah enti unse obeye ade no say ohuni e get to a point cry say ohuni flyer will be cry out miss family flyer the mommy manager say on the show we won bia na and you say no my boy free shows am out bebre utumi koji show cry na ya di wechi wa frefre ye na ya di wechi dia ko sa program no ye ko perform ma free yanji one city crap wo ho ye say ne wa be come team ho a na wa hu bibi cry na we be someone saying tell it to me friend me or to me friend me phone so now only me bought me management in komo usha manager no or ya de say na or ya juma no ya de not knowing my manager our man my manager so line so oh yeah not only my manager different artists which they all confirm to me that they are on the line that day not once not two like not one of my brother just called me, King Jerry, when you are talking to Tiny, make steady. Your manager is on the line too. Wow. Yeah. And he said, me manager besa sign bill cry after a year contract ni cry. Won't see him to me sign bill. And say yes sir. But sometimes you say, oh my father and say, oh Godfather, and now a legend. Who come assembly say what say we cry. No.
And that'll be all for tonight's news bulletin. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Ghana to end foreign cocoa financing by 2030. This was a statement made by President John Dramani Mahama in an event. Also, Fifi Kwete pushes bigger things politics as NDC opens membership on the international front. Also, US deploys 100 soldiers to Nigeria. And this is where we end tonight's news bulletin. Cstv News at 24 was brought to you by Rema Ocean Agency, Sarah's Dream Jewelries, Amstel Blog Machinery and Blog Manufacturing, NAP Apartment Hotel, and Crystal Jorek Pet Shop. For more news updates, you can follow us on our social media handles at CSTV GH. My name is Dr. Mensa. Good evening.